Good morning. We're going to be getting started in about 4 minutes. Thank you so much. I'm setting up the Facebook live stream right now. At least I'm trying to. Hmm. Good morning, everyone. We'll be getting started in just a few minutes. I'm setting up the Facebook Live. Again. And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the monthly consultant and renovation consulting partner skill building meeting for December 2023. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Catherine Hall, and I am so excited to be able to share this, our last conversation of the year with all of you. We're going to be talking today about the second step in the 5 parts of doing a 203K project. Last month, we talked about the process of setting up your pre-inspection, how to be able to prep your project, how to get it started. Today, we're going to move into the next phase of, whoops, hit the button to stop. There we go. All right, today we're going to get into the process of describing the most important part of the rehab project, which is your preliminary work write-up. So I'm going to be sharing my screen, and let me get that started right now. And actually, the screen that I want to share is, so I can open that up. And see, share my screen. Good job. Perfect. And there you can see all the Facebook streaming that we're doing right now. What I'm going to share right now is the file that we created last month and shared with the members. And let me go to that file right now. I had it open. I don't know what happened to it. There it is. This is the file that we started, that I shared with you all last month and that we started working on. It's also your guide to a successful rehab project from beginning to end. And so this is what we're going to be reviewing today, step 2, initial site visit and preliminary work write-up task list. So now when I talk about this, when I am sharing this information, I just want to check and see everything. How is our Facebook going? Connect. Uh-oh, we're not live yet. Okay. Now, good. And let's see, dashboard, stream setup. And we're sharing screen, but we're not live yet on Facebook. This is so annoying. Hang on for a second. Because we're using Fathom, I have to use a different way to set this up. All right, settings, viewer, comment, interactivity, chat box, distribution. And then let's see, I'm just trying to hit the button that says go live. And let's see, post on our timeline. And I don't see what I'm supposed to do next. Okay. And let's see, we've got that done. Sorry for the delay. I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do next with this Facebook Live. I'm going to stop sharing for the second so I can get this to work. And let's see if I can get this. Bingo. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. And so I did that. And all right. Got that working. And let's see. I can't get this to work on Facebook Live. That's not fair. Let's see if I can stop screen sharing. And let's see. If I can't get this to work in a second, I'm just going to just stop it altogether. And let's go there and share. And let's see, that's working. And I don't know how to do the post details. Let's see, post in a group, post on our timeline, public. All right, I can't get it to work. That's annoying. And it looks like it says if you're having trouble with Chrome. All right, so the problem is I can't post it live, so I'm just going to have to upload it. And I'm not sure what the next step is. So unfortunately, it's not going to work. All right, so we will have to, I'll just post the video after the meeting is over because unfortunately I can't get it to post. When we have the Fathom recording streaming to Fathom, I can't automatically post to Facebook. And that means it makes it difficult for me to do this. So what I'm doing is I was trying to do it manually, but it wasn't working. All right, so let's go back and restart. So I'm going to share my screen and we are going to be talking about the okay, and just basically log in. All right, so I'm going to make a note because people are saying they can't get in, but a couple people got in, so nothing wrong with the system. Okay, so just log into the link. The waiting room is there, and I will let you in. All right, so guys, this is for those who have been on this webinar before, it shouldn't be that difficult. So next year, we're going to take out the waiting room and just, I was trying to make it easier for everybody with the waiting room so you didn't have to remember a passcode, but apparently the passcode doesn't work if you have the waiting room. So it's kind of like a catch-22. So what we'll do is we'll take off the waiting room next year and just put the passcode. It will be NAFAC. And so that all you have to do is remember the passcode. All right. So I thought it was either or, but it's not. So there you go. So let's get started again. Welcome to the skill building call for December 2023. This is our last call this year. Thank you all so much for being here, especially Luis out in California. It's 5 a.m. out there. Way to go, Luis. Very good. So today, as I said, we're going to be talking about the 203K flow of events using the Genesis rehab system. There are 5 parts to doing a renovation project. There are 5 important steps that you need to use to be able to be successful in this process. When you are working with those 5 steps, you will be able to easily get your rehab project working. Okay. And so all we want you to do right now is, let's see, Ken, since you're on the call, I'm going to make you a co-host so that you actually can allow people, add people in when they come into the waiting room. Okay, thank you. Ken's one of our team leaders. Thank you so much. All right, so the first step we talked about last week was the pre-inspection task list. And I actually had a coaching call with one of our premium members yesterday, a really powerful call where I described to him the fact that when you are doing your 203K project, the most important thing you need to do to set yourself up for success is to make sure that you set up the stage correctly from the beginning. Make sure that you are describing to the customer everything that they need to know before you start the project. And in fact, when you schedule your initial consultation, that call literally should take you about 20 to 30 minutes to complete with the customer. In order to be successful with this process, you need to manage expectations. As I say all the time, teach people how to give you money. And to do that, you need to make sure that everybody understands early on in the process what you're doing, how you're going to do it, and what they need to know to be successful working with you. Okay. So, what the first thing you do is, and I'm going to share that screen now in a second. You want to go to the vault, the NAFAC members vault, and you want to open up the consultation request order form. Okay, that is the most important thing to start out with. So I'm going to go to the dashboard and show it to you. Yesterday, I shared a video with our members, with you all, to tell you how to be able to access anything in the vault by using the Control F Find button. All right, so I'm going to resume sharing, and we are sharing my screen. Good. So inside the members vault is your consultant forms. So anything that you see on this image where it says it's a form, right here, you can see it says a form of any type of form. Either you'll find it in Genesis or you'll find it in the vault. So the consultation request form is the form that you want to get from the lender. Not sure where it is, hit Control F and type REQUEST, and there you see it is, the consultation request form. This is a form fillable document that you can create. And I want to point out that for all elite and premium elite members, you have the ability to have us create a web page for you that includes this form fillable document, so that all you have to do when you talk to your real estate lenders is tell them, here's a link on my website, click it, and then you can go in and fill out the request form, see samples of my report, and actually understand and learn the flow of a 203K project. So use the tools that we give you as part of your NAFAC benefits. And the way you find out how to do that, and I've been mentioning that to people, we want to be able to give you we want to be able to give you a website page that you can share on social media, share in your emails, get people to start working with you. How do you do that? Well, if you are an elite member, and again, premium and premium elite members have access to this content, you scroll down and there you see where it says, get your web page here. We will build you a web page that will include the consultation request form, samples of your reports, the flow of a 203K project. All that will be provided for you when you actually give us these 8 items. So very simply, create a sample report using dummy information, no projects that you've actually done, no real data from a customer. Give us this content, give us this data, and we will actually brand it and custom color it to match your existing website. So you need to allow about 3 to 4 weeks for it to be completed once we've gotten that information. But please send this over to us and let's get us giving you this information to help you be able to have a free FAQ on 203K website page where the lender can then fill in this request form. All right, so you need to connect with all parties, get the request form from the loan officer, define the goals of the borrower, and set expectations in writing. How do you do that? By having a conversation with the borrower and going through the process of the 203K loan. Most consultants don't treat 203K different from home inspections. Someone says they need a consultation, person says, fine, I can come out on Tuesday. That's not how you do a 203K consultation. And in fact, the conversation, the role play that I did yesterday with our member, I'm going to cut that portion of it out of the call, and I will be sharing it with all of you so you actually can hear what it takes to be able to schedule a call. It takes about 20, 30 minutes. Pause, take a deep breath, and settle into asking them important questions and letting them feel like you are the professional who's going to treat this process differently than what they get in a home inspection. How do you do that? Well, when you're creating your site visit, you're going to create the consultation checklist. This is available to you in your vault under important consultant information forms and marketing materials. When someone says that they want to schedule an initial consultation, the very first thing you want to do, and I strongly encourage that you have a folder on your computer dedicated to your 203K activities. Don't just stick the photos and pictures. Don't just stick it on your desktop. Create a sense of order in your projects, and that will create a sense of order in the workflow. So here you can see I have my local business, 203K Made Easy. I've got the separate folder for it. And there you can see I have a folder for active projects, closed projects, my logos, my marketing folder, everything that I need to do with this, I have in a separate business folder for my 203K business. Inside my active projects folder, I'm clicking it there, I have something called a master 203K project folder. So now what I'm going to do for all of you now, I'm actually going to copy this Dropbox link. I'm going to basically share it with you, all of you. So I'm going to create a link that says anyone can view this link. So I'm going to actually create this link, is link for viewing. And here it comes. So I'm going to copy this link. So anybody with this link, and I'm going to post it in the chat right now. And I'm also going to post it on the Skype group right now. So watch me post it in the Skype group. Oh my God. Okay. I don't get this. Please go to the members Skype group for the link. All right. Brian got in okay. Thank you, Brian. So I'm going to copy this link. And I just pasted it there. And I'm also going to paste it into the chat. And when I click that link, it shows you what a master 203K project folder looks like. So now you actually can make your own and copy this. Now you can't copy the content, but you can create your own master projects folder. And inside that folder, you want to have a subfolder called pre-closing, 2, contractor bid, 3, permits and certifications, 4, draws and changes, 5, emails and recording. And yes, everything you do, you need to be recording. Every email that you write, you should save it as a PDF in an offline, in a folder outside of your emails, because at some point you purge your emails and you might be losing an important email you sent to a customer. So inside the pre-closing folder is another subfolder called before photos. So you go out, so when you go out to the property, you're going to get photos. I want you to put them in a separate folder inside the project file folder. And there you can see in your master projects folder, put the document 203K consultant checklist, so that whenever you start a new project, and I'll show you how that looks in real time. So someone calls and say they want a 203K project. Fantastic. I'll be before I would like to help you with that. Just give me a second, because I need to ask you some important questions and to make sure we get the project started correctly. So I created that master folder. Then I'm going to copy that folder, and then I'm going to paste it into the same set. So there you can see it says copy. So there it is there. So now I'm going to rename it with the name of the property. So here we're going to say, we're going to call it Roll Tide Road in honor of Ken Blair. And then we're going to put the client's last name. So Roll Tide Road 123. And the client's last name is Blair. Thank you, Ken. And so that is the folder. If I take out all the copy, and that is the name of the folder. So while I'm talking to the customer, I'm going to ask them just a second while I set up some information for our call. I quickly copy that folder, or I already have one already copied and I can just rename it. Then I go to that folder. I go to the pre-close, I open my consultation checklist, and then I start filling out the information while I'm talking to my client. So can you give me the address of the property? So they start giving me the details. And can you give me the full spelling of all the names of the borrowers so I can put that in the file? And can I get your email and the email of the other participant? And can I get your phone number for the file and in case we get disconnected, and that of the co-borrower if applicable? Who is your lender? Can I ask you who the loan company is you're working with? And what is the name of your lending officer? And then you put in the date that you received this order. Then you start asking these questions. Is this a new purchase or a refinance? And I'm not going to go through all of this in detail because, like I said, I did a very in-depth role play yesterday, and I'm going to share it in your file in the actual skill building calls, and I'll also share it in the vault and in the Facebook, in the the Skype group, blah blah blah. So I'm going to share it in the Skype group. Now, with that being said, here we have all the questions that you need to ask. And when you ask these questions, you're going to scroll down to the bottom and ask about the additional upsell services that you can provide. All right. So that is the cool thing. So I'm going to move this over to here out of the way so I can actually see whatever people are asking questions. Okay. All right. I don't know why people are having trouble. Just click this link and the co-host will let you in. I don't know why they're having trouble because everybody else has gotten on. It is really weird. People might not be using the right code. We sent it to you in an email. We sent it in the general membership meeting. And John doesn't come in until 10 a.m. But from now on, I want to have John come in at 8 a.m. on this one day a month. Okay, so. Okay, great. So there you go. So that is working. And I'm actually going to do a screenshot so I can actually basically show people that this is working. It is right there. Bingo. It's the same meeting code every single month, ladies and gentlemen. So if you add it to your Google Calendar, you will be able to get the messaging every month. Okay, so it is the same. And I want everybody to be on the call. So that's why I'm pausing to try to help people get on the call and so that they can get in. Okay, so we go through this, and then based upon the information that you get from the customer, you're going to let them know about additional services that you can offer. And it's also going to be based upon the conversation that you have with them. All right. So this is the consultation checklist. Once you fill it out with that specific property, so this is 123 Roll Tide Drive. Okay. And then you actually will save it into that folder. Okay. So anyway, all right. So here we go with this. Now we keep moving forward. All right, so, he's frustrated, so I'm sorry about that. All right, so let's keep going. So now we go back to our page. We get the consultation request form from the loan officer. You don't want to go out to the property until you have it. In fact, one of our members, they got an order from a borrower to do a consultation. And I said, don't go out until you get the consultation request form. As it had turned out, it wasn't a 203K, it was a Fannie Mae. Okay. So that might be so he found out it was a Fannie Mae home style. So let's continue. And I'm actually going to turn off Skype because I can't focus on that. Bingo. I can't focus on that. I'm turning off Skype. All right. So Paul or Ken, if you could please comment in the Skype group for people who are saying they're having trouble getting in. I'm trying to do this meeting, so I can't really focus on that. So if one of you could do that, I would really appreciate it. All right. So let's get back to this, and I will not let myself be distracted again because we only have 40 minutes left. So with the initial site visit, Get details and schedule the pre-visit services. So in some cases, you might need to schedule a situation where you do not go out first. And in that role-playing example, the customer said that there was a septic system and that needed to be inspected first. All right, so with that being the case, always make sure that you are getting all the information you need to prepare to going out to the property. Schedule the appointment with all parties to be present. Determine, this is when you go out to the property and your job there is to determine feasibility and decide if moving forward as a standard or limited K. This is an important thing to note. Create the preliminary work write-up or job ending letter that the project is not feasible. So now let's go into Genesis and look at how that works, because we're now going to talk about setting this all up. So I'm going to open up Genesis. And I'm going to log in. So now we create the project. And when you create your project, you see I started one last month and it's in pre-inspection. So this was our sample project that I created last month when we talked about the pre-inspection process. And in the pre-inspection task list, you actually have the non-home inspection disclosure, which you are going to give to the borrower. You have your consultant services agreement. And depending on the type of consultation, you may change this agreement. So what if this is not a 203K, if it is a Fannie Mae? Well, in order to change that agreement, you want to go to the vault. And we actually have already created for you the actual Fannie Mae home style agreement. So you simply just go to the members vault, click consultant forms and resources. And right here, if you want to type in Control F and you type in Fannie Mae, there it is, the consultant fee schedule for Fannie Mae. We're going to talk about fees in a minute. And so we're going to talk about, go to agreement. There's a 203K consultant services agreement. There's the 203K agreement. Limitation of liability agreement. So we're going to keep going up and look for, there it is, the home style consultant services agreement. So by just typing the word agree and scrolling through the 6 options, I was able to find the agreement that I needed to have. All right, and so that is what we've got here. So now I'm going to download this agreement, just putting it in my downloads. All right, and so now all I have to do here is this now is worded for the project that is the home style, not the 203K. So you can go up here to editing, select all, and then copy. Go back into Genesis. And then you're going to hit Control A to bold out everything. And then you're going to hit Control V or paste. So either paste or Control V. There you can see it. Let's see, Control A, delete. And then I'm going to go back into that document. I didn't do it the right order. Then I'm going to hit Control C, copy. Then I'm going to go back into that document and hit Control V or paste. And now you see that there is no price reduction because this is not a 203K. And there you see the words say home style program requirements. This is how you edit your agreement for the one time for just this process. Okay, so now that that's submitted, here's the cover page. Yeah, when you're doing your pre-inspection, you need to find a picture of the property. And sometimes, and you have not been there yet, so you want to go online and you want to look for the address of the property. And you should be able to find it on Zoom. Okay, so actually excuse me, you find it on Chrome. You can go to images, and you hit images, and there's a copy of the house. Okay, you don't want to have the one that has that on it, so just basically here's a copy. So you want to basically save that image. So you're going to save this image, save image as, and where are you going to save it? You're going to save it into your folder that you created. So you're going to save it into that folder that you set up in your projects file. So we had our roll tide, pre-close, before photos, and this is called our initial image. And we hit save. Bingo. Now I go back into Genesis and I can choose that file. And now I have my picture to start the project. And there's my initial image. Now you see where it says the current width of the image is too small. Okay, because I just grabbed it off of the internet, you might have to adjust the size, resize the image, etc. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to basically just grab another image. And I'm just going to go back to my pictures. And just grab any picture I can find. I'm just going to take the logo and upload it. PNG or JPEG images, either one are workable. So now that we've got our pre-inspection, this is what you're going to print. All right, you're going to print this document and you're going to email this to the borrower to get them to sign it. If you're working with a program like ISN or Spectora, where you have the ability to send an inspection agreement for e-signature and payment, you actually can copy this agreement. You can copy this entire PDF and you can actually put it into that system to be able to create that report. So now I'm going to finalize that pre-inspection agreement. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go there. You can see that once you finalize that pre-inspection, you are automatically moved into the next task, which is the preliminary work write-up. So that was your pre-inspection activity. That's what you create before you go out to the property. And then what you're going to do to that project is you're going to print that document off, send it to the borrower either through Acrobat or through another program to get them to e-sign it. So here is our full pre-inspection report. This is the report you're going to take out to the property in a 3-ring view binder. This page here with the picture of the house is what you would put in the inside of the view binder that we recommend you use. And then you've got your inspection service agreement. Your logo will appear at the top. And the fees that you're going to be charging the customer for the project will appear below. Now, I want to pause right now and talk about fees just for a minute. And we will be discussing in greater depth the issue with regard to fees for 203K consultants next month in our general membership meeting. The reason I want to bring this up is because HUD has recently come out with a update to their fee schedule. And it is a proposal that is in draft mode. It is not a firm law. You cannot, even if you've already seen the proposed mortgagee letter, do not start charging those fees. Those fees are not yet accepted by HUD. And I actually called HUD yesterday because there are people out there who are stating that, oh, you can use it retroactively. You cannot. The fee schedule that we must live to is still the fee schedule for 203K projects that are listed on the HUD roster. When the mortgagee letter, if and when that is accepted as part of the HUD guidelines, you can guarantee I will be the first one to tell you. But the good news is the new fee schedule basically states, right now you can see where it has a very short sliding scale. Okay, so if you see here that the fees are very short, okay, and they've got little $50 increments. That's because back when this program was enacted, in the late 60s, early 70s, going from 30 to 35,000 was a huge jump in a rehab. Okay, so that's why the fees jump very incrementally. The new fee schedule that is being proposed by HUD states that all repairs from 0 to 50, so right there that says 45 to 60. So all repairs from 0 to 50, as of the new proposed fee schedule, the fee that you can charge is up to $1,000. So you have the discretion of charging whatever you want up to $1,000 for all 203K projects where the repairs are $50,000 or below. Now, that's fantastic. It's a little high and it's going to be a huge sticker shock, and some lenders are going to be very upset about it and have already been commenting to HUD about it. Okay. Well, you don't have to charge the full 1,000. You can make it a less of a huge jump, but you have that right if you so choose to do. Any repairs from 50 to 100,000, from 50 to 100, the fee schedule is now up to $1,200. Okay, so here you can see it's a huge jump. So you can go, so anything from 50 to 100, it will, instead of where that says 950, or actually it caps at 1,000 right now for HUD, it's going to be 1,200. So from 50 to 100 is $1,200. Anything from 100 to 145, the fee is now $1,400. And anything from 140,000 and up, the fee is 1% or $2,000, whatever is less. So in effect, the fee schedule that I had created for us to use for our home style loans has now been basically enacted or adopted, or is planned to be adopted by FHA as the new fee for that program. So we will let you know when it is enacted. Do not use it yet, please. Do not use it yet, please. It is not a valid fee, but start letting people know that, hey, the fees are going to start going up, but we'll be discussing it. And there will be the ability for competition in 203K consultants, which we will talk about in our general membership meeting more, because it says you charge up to. So you now actually can compete against someone who goes right to the $1,000. If you decide you want to say, hey, it's only a $60,000 job, I'm not going to charge you 1,000. I'm only going to charge you 800. So you have that right to create your own new fee schedule and let lenders know about it. And we will go into depth with that marketing option later. But for this project, as a Fannie Mae home style, you are publishing the fees that you want to charge. Okay. And you let them know those fees in your initial conversation that you have with the customer. Okay. That's how you're going to promote this, by going to that process. All right. So now here you can see that we have our fees in this PDF. You're going to publish this. You're going to send this to the customer, and you're going to get them to e-sign it. And you are also providing them with the non-home inspection disclosure. So this is something that you want to give to them in print at the property. And you also want to basically get their electronic approval of this information, the contract. And I would recommend that you also get the down payment that you're going to charge for your fees. So let's talk about how we charge fees. When we're doing 203K projects, the model that I recommend that we do is to not ding the customer over the head with a huge fee, even before they've had a chance to know if they're going to be buying this house with the repairs that we identify. So how do you do that? Well, the way we do that is by charging a portion at the time of the initial consultation. And then if they decide they're not moving forward, then they actually can be, that portion that you charge them is full and final payment. So for the interest of time, I'm going to go back to the vault. Once again, it's in the consultant vault. So you type in fee. All right. And there's the Fannie Mae fee schedule, the independent consultant fee schedule, the FHA fee schedule. So now you can see all those fee schedules, but I'm going to type in, I'm going to type in the word payment. there's a 203K payment chart. All right, so I'm going to open up that payment chart. And you might want to create a 203K forms folder because you can download these and keep them in your folder forever. So now I'm not going to go into this in depth today. There is already a training on the vault in the archive on how to process your fees, but I want to basically show you that how you get paid by the customer is not the same way as how you report it to the lender. So here you can see that on a project that we are doing that is, let's say the project is a $850 project. We take $400 at the initial evaluation. $100 of that is applied to the feasibility, the site visit plus the mileage. And then the $300 is a deposit against the total work write-up. So that once you go through contractor bidding and once you've completed the work write-up and are ready to release it and don't release the report till you get paid, you would then charge them the additional difference between the total cost of the project, okay, on an $800 job, $850 job. All right, because you don't even know what the total cost of the project will be until you get out there. So just because the client says, oh, I think it's going to be about $80,000, well, that doesn't mean it is $80,000. You get there and that work might be $100,000. And if you tell them my fee is $800, you can't very comfortably go back and ask for another $200. So let them know I'm going to take an initial deposit, and of that, it's going to be credited toward the balance. A portion of it will be credited toward the balance so that when we move forward, we actually can complete that process. All right. Now, if there is a termite inspection, mold test, architectural plans, whatever the fees are, you actually would include those with that initial evaluation fee. So, and here is, so that we won't talk about this either. So this is how you report it to the borrower. We'll talk about how you report it to the lender on the work write-up when we get to the section of talking about the work write-up. But for now, we're going to describe that we're doing an initial evaluation, all right, which includes a feasibility study, the deposit against the work write-up, and then a proposed balance due based upon repair amount. And so we're going to now go into our report. So now we've got that done. We've had the conversation with the customer, told them what we're going to ask them to pay, all right, which is written in the document. Whoops. Which is written in the document of the consultation request form. So now let's go back and start our preliminary work write-up paperwork. So we've gone out to the property. Inside the important consultant forms is information on what to do when you get out to the property, the consultation checklist, the flow of activities, which we've already shared with you. Okay. We have in here a construction cost estimator. We have something that's really cool in the vault called the field note checklist. The consultation checklist in order taking notes. Okay, so field. Where is it? Let's see, what's it called? And let's keep going down. And where is it? There it is. Project feasibility worksheet. Okay, so net project feasibility worksheet. I'm going to download that. And I'm going to rename that to field note checklist. This is a project worksheet and cost estimator that you can print off and take with you when you go out to the property. If you want to write notes and put them right in each individual category, this is available for you. And it also tells you what goes in those categories. For many of you, knowing where to put things is new. Knowing where to throw it in there is something that you have not done before. For example, you might be wondering, well, there is a section for painting exterior, okay, but there's no section for painting interior. Where do I put painting interior? Well, if you scroll down, you'll find that painting interior goes under the section called decorating. And there you see in this document, and this is a great tool that you might want to download and print off and keep with you when you go out in the field. It actually tells you what is important. We actually highlight in red those elements that are critical for the project. And it gives you what is where. Okay. So what do you describe where? What do I put things like wood beams? Where do I put floor joists? There's no section on floor joists or supporting columns. This is how you know where to do. And if you want to print this off, double-sided pages would make it 6 pieces of paper. Take it with you, maybe in a binder that you can flip flip chart. Then you actually can write directly in here what the project is going, what the item is going to be, and you can put in whether it's recommended, mandatory, or desired. And so you can see where the requirement, you actually can do this on site. So you can either do it before the client gets there or after they're gone. But this is a great tool. This is called it's called the initial field notes right there. That's the name of the actual file, but it's called the project feasibility worksheet. So this is something that you want to grab off of the vault. See, we give you so many tools to make it easy. So when you go out to the property, what are you going to take with you? Flashlight, outlet tester, tape measure, laser tape measure. If you have one, if you don't kill yourself. But if you do, it's a really great tool. And there are actually some good apps on your phone. They're not that great, but if you practice with them, you can actually use your phone as a laser tape measure. Measure It is one of the tools that actually works for that. Okay. Let's go back here. All right. So when you're doing that, you actually have that opportunity to get that done. And so those are the things you need: tape measure, laser tape measure, cell phone to take pictures, or camera. I use my cell phone. Body cam to record the video. Okay, body cam to record the video, and an outlet tester. Those are absolutely the only tools you truly need as a consultant. Do I also take a step ladder? Yes, I do, so that I can get high enough to poke my flashlight up into the attic on to poke my cell phone up into the attic on a selfie stick to take visual view of the attic. Also, I have a selfie stick. There you go. That's the other thing I take. And make sure it is a plastic selfie stick or one that is coated so that you don't get electrocuted if you accidentally touch it with to a wire. Metal selfie stick poles. There have been home inspectors who've been injured from them. Okay, so make sure you get a plastic coated or plastic selfie stick, or mine, I don't have it right here handy. Mine has a rubberized handle. So it's actually a non-conductive handle. So I can't get electrocuted if the metal part of the selfie stick comes in contact with the maybe there's a live wire in the attic when you stick it up there, or there's a live wire in the crawl space that you don't know about and you're running around with your phone. So please be careful with that, with selfie sticks. So now we've gone out to the property. So let's go back to our image again. We've scheduled our appointment. We've gone out to the property. We've used our cost estimator and field notes or project worksheet. We've taken our notes. We've taken a million pictures. We've got our measurements. Now we're back in our office, and now we're creating the preliminary work write-up. So know that you're going to tell the customer the delivery time for this report is 7 to 10 business days. Why? Part of completing the preliminary work write-up, when you go to the task list, part of the process of completing that is permits and certification. So these are the list of the task items for creating the preliminary work write-up, which is that preliminary report that will let the borrower determine whether or not they're moving forward. So let's look at that. Create the cover letter. The cover letter is where you're going to comment on what you found in the property. Yes, indeed, there is a form for cover letter content. All right. So right here under 203K, category description comments, and I'm going to save it to downloads. I'm actually going to put all this in a folder, but I want to show you how you save it. Okay, so here you can see category description comments. This is for when you're filling it out. And let's go back up into here and type in the word cover. And there you see cover letter templates for the work write-up. So once again, you download it so you can always have it on your computer. And here we've actually even described for you the conditions that you'll use to determine the cover letter you're going to write. So for example, if there's a possibility that this project can go with the limited K and you're creating the preliminary report in order for them to know what to do when they're quoting with the contractor, here's a cover letter when limited K is available to the client. There's your cover letter for just that eventuality. Here's a cover letter when the client has a contractor and is moving forward with the project. Here's a cover letter when the contractor is known, but the repairs may change. You found a whole lot of stuff and it's going to need the contractor to rebid. Here's a cover letter when the contractor is not known and the repairs may change. So the needs are going to be bidding for new contractors. And we give information about what this contractor needs to include. All right. So am I sharing my screen? Yep. You guys are seeing it. And those are the 5 cover letters that you'll use. So let's say we're going to use this one. Now we know it's a Fannie Mae, so I'm going to not use re-203K inspection. I'm going to probably change that to say Fannie Mae, but I'm going to copy this. Go back into Genesis. And right here where it says the attached report is the preliminary inspection report. Well, I'm going to take all of that out. Okay. And I'm going to paste the information I put in there. And I'm going to say Fannie Mae home style rehab evaluation and site visit. Put in some paragraphing. Review it, edit it as you need, make it meet your specific needs. So here it talks about debit or credit card payment, do an electronic payment, and then thank you very truly yours, and then I'm going to hit submit. That's my cover letter. In addition to the cover letter, let's go back to cover letter page. You are also going to put your consultant comments. Now I should have done that first because it was the first thing that came up. And this is where you highlight things that were of important note to the customer at the time, to you at the time of the valuation. So in other words, the member that we had who did his first home style, remember with a home style, there are no mandatory repairs at all. So roof is in marginal condition with indications of past leaks. Recommend replacement. Okay? Included in scope of work, but may be opted out at choice of borrower. All right, so I'm letting them know, hey, look, the second one was old galvanized water lines visible. Recommend replacement due to possible lead exposure. Okay. Suggest water quality test. If this were a 203K and you saw galvanized water lines, incoming water lines that were galvanized, possibly lead solder, you would not recommend a water quality test to determine the presence of lead in the water. You would order it because any kind of lead in a 203K project must be addressed in the scope of work. So you see galvanized water lines, which possibly have lead solder, you're going to order a lead inspection of the water. You're going to order that. If you can perform it, fantastic. If you need to sub it out, so be it. Okay. So third issue was heater nearing end of life expectancy. $22 years. Recommend replacement. not included in scope of work. All right. So you see, this is how you are protecting your assets. You're letting them know in this comment anything, particularly with the Fannie Mae home style, that you want them to be aware of, that it's on record that you said something. Now, in the condition that this member of ours, William, he said that the borrower wants to wait to redo the roof after they've sold the home that they live in. So they're buying this new home before selling the other one. Once they get the proceeds of the sale of that home, that's when they plan to replace this roof. If this were a 203K with a roof in poor condition, with evidence of past leakage, it would not be a negotiable item. It would have to be mandatory for 203K. But I'm trying to show you now a very stark image of the difference between the Fannie Mae and the 203K. Enter into the chat if you could, if this makes sense and if this is helpful to see this kind of an information. Please enter in the chat for me so I can know if this is tracking with you. All right, so I'm going to submit. And now I'm going to go back. So now I've checked that box off. I've got my cover page. It picked up the image from the pre-inspection. Now that I've gone out to the property, I can exchange this picture with a better picture from one of the file images that I took when I went out to the property. So now I can delete this picture now. And now I can go in and upload a picture from my actual project. So I can go into my active project and I actually can go to my pre-closing photos that I've entered. And I can now enter the picture of the property. Okay, so that's the order form. So that's not the picture, but you get the point. I always take a picture of the first page of my order form. And there you can see, this is the consultation request form that I got from a lender. I always take a picture of that when I start my job as the beginning of my list of photos. Because if I'm doing 2 or 3 jobs in a day, that's my delineation point, just to give you a heads up a little bit of the process of how I do a project. So I'm going to delete that again and grab another picture of the house, hopefully. That's not the front. These are some pictures. I must have went out there. I must have went outside first. It must have been cold. When was it? Yeah, November 15th. I got in the house quick. I'm so glad I'm not in Pennsylvania anymore. And there is some pictures. This is the front steps. So, all right, so I'll use this as my picture of the front. Bingo. Okay, so there it is. There's my picture of the front of the house, a typical row home in Philadelphia. And there we go. So now I've got my cover page, my cover letter, and now you need to do the permits. This is where you're going to contact the municipality and find out what permits are going to be needed based upon the work items you indicate. You're going to put that information in, okay? And you're going to put the fees in. Okay? Yes, I always check Skype when I'm done. Okay, so then you're going to go through the permits and then you're going to do your construction cost estimate. And this is where we're going to put in the cost information of the project that we're doing. All right. So does everybody understand that writing the scope of work is in the preliminary work write-up phase is the most challenging part of your rehab project? And to make this easy for you, I recommend that you go back and watch the video that's in the vault. It's in the archive. You go down here to the archive of monthly scale building. There is a fantastic video, even if I say so myself. Okay, so we're going to scroll down to the preliminary work write-up. Okay, right here. The rule of 4, description of items, setting up your Genesis project for success. This talks about how you write, excuse me, your projects. And it's funny, we talked about the cash flow of a rehab project last December, and we've talked about fees again this December. So the rule of 4 is the description of items, setting up your Genesis project for success. And there you can see the complete full video of how to write your individual line items for the maximum success. Additionally, and we're getting ready to end the call. Additionally, in the vault, and refer to the vault, consultant forms and resources, you find that category description comments that I referred to, the 203K category descriptions. This is some generalized descriptions, and we're actually going to be expanding this list where you actually get a feel for what you're going to be writing in your scope of work in specific categories. These are the comments that you're going to be including in the category description section, the general category description. When you are writing your cost estimate, there are 4 parts to each line item. One is the brief item description. So when you're just first starting out in Genesis, you may not have anything over here. You may have only the ones that are default. Once you select one, it moves it over to here. All right, so I'm going to basically say create new. So I'm going to basically say masonry repairs other. It's okay to use a general other on this brief description because you're going to write more information once you move forward. So here are the 4 parts of your line item. Okay, 1 is this information here. 2 is a more specific repair detail, but it's limited to only 256 categories. 3rd is your pricing. And 4th is the general category description that comes up once you hit the submit button. So let's pretend we're doing one here, masonry. So we're going to say exterior. Who requires this repairs? All right, this is a Fannie Mae, so there's no mandatory. So this is recommended to be done by the contractor. What's the repair that we're doing? Contractor 2 is the way you start every line item. 2, ... In this case, repair, repoint bricks at 2nd floor, front window. That's my brief description. Under my pricing, as a preliminary write-up, you do everything in lump sum. Quantity is 1. And then here is the rate. So let's say we're going to do a price of $500. And we're not adding any more items, so we hit submit. That's part 3 of the line item. Part 4 is entering the general category description. And that's where you write what you want to say. Bricks around metal bump out window need to be pointed, caulked, sealed to siding at front wall 2nd floor. So you see, I get to write a whole lot of more detail here. Do we need a permit for this? Nope. And so now I hit submit. So this is how you create the preliminary work write-up, which is the 2nd step of the 5 parts of the rehab project. Continue doing this, going through the fee schedule, creating all the fees, and then creating your photo album by uploading all the pictures from the project. And when you resize the photos, you can literally add 25 pictures at a time by simply clicking the first one, holding down your shift key, and then counting out the numbers you want to grab. So let's say I'm going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to go out here to 15. I hit open. So those 14 files will be uploaded because they all are less than 1 megabyte a piece. If you've got pictures that are 5, 6, 10 megabytes a piece, it's going to be fewer pictures you can upload. And so that's why we recommend a program called Fast Image Resizer. Okay? So with that being said, we're going to end this call. So there you can see all the pictures are uploaded beautifully. And it's an ugly house, isn't it? We've got work to do in this house. So we enter our fee schedule. We put in the amount of our draws, the number of our draws, the amount of our mileage. I'm going to say 0 miles to say it's no mileage involved. And this is where you're going to add those fees based upon that payment report that I showed you. Okay, where you're going to say feasibility allow $100 work write-up based upon repair. Okay, and so then I'm going to put that here. So we're going to say feasibility. Paid by borrower. And click client pays, so it goes on the invoice. Lender pays, so it shows the allowable fees. And then you're going to add work write-up, estimated, based TBD, to be determined by repair amount. So that means it's going to be edited, it's going to change. But for now, I'm going to put 800 so that everybody knows that this is going to be final number. Final rate to be determined, but this is what my estimate is. Now you've got that done. And now you've got a full, complete preliminary work write-up ready for you to sign, preview, create a blank contractor bid to email to contractors, and finalize once the borrower has accepted it. And then you're ready to move on to step number 3, contractor bidding. We will pick this up in January 2024 on our next skill building call. So I want to thank you all so much for being on the call today. For those who are watching this in a replay, I apologize that you had a challenge getting onto the call. I try to take responsibility by posting the meeting links, but I can't control what Zoom does, and sometimes Zoom has challenges. Do me a favor, everyone. Try to log on to these calls 5 or 6 minutes before the meeting starts. That way, if you're having a problem, we'll be able to address it before the meeting starts, and I am able to devote the full 1 hour on the training. So I'm going to edit out the first portion of this where I'm trying to help people get in on the call so that we have just, under an hour worth of training today. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. If this was helpful, please post it on the Facebook group, post it on the members Skype group, and I will be posting the recording there as well. Until I'm able to support you in 2024, happy holidays, happy new year, and be outstanding. I will see you all in 2024. Bye-bye.